Ladies and gentlemen, do I have something for you today? Today isn't going to be one of those boring interior days. It's going to be something that this car has needed for quite a long time now. For those of you who've been following, you maybe know what I'm talking about. Up until now, the car hasn't really felt like a car yet. It's felt like a project that never ends. But this last piece to the puzzle is gonna make it a car. That ought to do it. Looks like they send a few stickers. Have to find a spot for those somewhere around the shack. I don't know what it is about this. There isn't really much to it. But this might just be the most excited I've been for a part probably like ever. I just really hope it fits, because if it doesn't, I'm not gonna be so happy. Just to give you guys a closer look, obviously this is from the drive shaft shop. The logo's upside down. I measured out everything according to their instructions for this type of yoke, when they include the yoke, and for the pinion flange on the diff. And they basically do the rest. You can choose steel, aluminum, carbon fiber. Carbon fiber wasn't quite in the budget. Those are like $1,000. This was already a little more than I wanted to spend. And there's really not much to it. You can see next to the everything else there, it's about the shortest drive shaft I've ever seen. But that's just that much better, that much less rotating mass. So we're gonna pop this thing in and see if it fits. One thing I do have on order is a rear seal for the transmission. I've noticed it's been dripping. Some people have said that when you actually put the yoke from the drive shaft, when you slide it into the tail shaft of the trans, that it'll seal that up and it's not gonna leak. So it could be that. I have a new seal on order. If and when it does come, I can always just slide the drive shaft back out and put that new seal in. It'll take probably 10 minutes. So we're gonna throw this in tonight and we're gonna start it up. I've got a little bit of bleeding left to do on the clutch, but I'll just start it up in gear. Here's a difference between the stock 280 drive shaft that went along with the R200 and the 4-speed. I don't know if there's any difference in the 5-speed. And actually the length, the original one looks actually about maybe half an inch longer. I probably could have gotten this one to work with the RB. I'd have to change that out anyways, and then the U-joints wouldn't have worked. So there would have been a lot of customizing with that anyways. And the factory one looks like it was a 2-inch, and the drive shaft shop is a 3-inch, so it should be able to hold a lot more power. And I would say weight, the aluminum, just by feel, maybe a pound, maybe 2 pounds lighter. So weight, it's so close to the center of rotation that it probably wouldn't make any bit of difference with a drive shaft this small. But I guess it's kind of cool to say it's aluminum, and hopefully it fits. So this part's gonna be really hard for me to film, and you might be able to see some of it. Otherwise I'll just show you when it's done. Oh, fuck. Hi, dog. We are in the transmission, and I don't know if you can tell, there's the pinion flange. I'm just kind of willy-nilly pointing the camera around here, but there's the pinion flange for the diff, and I need to get that all bolted up. Then we're gonna put some fluid in the differential and we're gonna give her a go. The original drive shaft bolts are just a little bit too short. I'd feel better if they were 10 or even 5 millimeters longer. The original ones will work just for a test, but there's not quite as much thread there as I'd like to actually trust driving on them. So I'm gonna work on trying to get fluid into the differential and we'll give her a shot. What I did here was buy a cheap garden sprayer, and I'm using Redline MT90 for the transmission and for the diff. And in order to get the fluid into the diff, it needs to be pumped up through a hose and then up where you can't get. And I got a little pump assembly up there, so I'll just finagle the hose in there and I'll pump out the fluid from the garden sprayer. And lastly, we need to put the half shafts back in. And now, right away, before I get flamed by the other Z owners out there, those are temporary. I've got Turbo 300ZX, Z31, CV axles on the way. I actually sent out the payment to a scrapyard in North Carolina, and they're gonna send them over to me once they get the payment in the mail. So this is just for testing. I'm probably gonna have to end up putting the car on the dyno with these U-jointed half shafts, which I don't love the idea of that, but I think just in the time frame that I have, that's what I'm gonna have to work with. So here's what we got going on. The diff is full, the drive shaft is in, and we just gotta put our half shafts in place and we should get some action. I'm trying to film as much as I can. My camera battery is dead, so I'm plugging it in between takes here. And my hands, I just wiped them off, but my hands are kind of getting gross, so I'm trying not to get it all over the camera. But we got the right side in, and the left sitting right there. We'll bolt that up. That's about it. I'm not going to show every nut and bolt of putting the axle shafts back in. I'm just going to get to the good stuff. I'm just going to start the car in gear, and we're going to see everything go. I know they're going to turn. I've got to see it for myself, because to me this is like, this is it. This is, I don't really have much for words, to be honest. This is kind of, I'm a little overwhelmed. I'm a little at loss for words that I'm actually at this point. So here goes. I also just kind of remembered that I haven't actually tested these gauges out. I'm gonna find out if all this work is even any good. This is probably the most anxious I've been with the entire build so far. You guys ready? I'm ready. Oh my god. Oh. low. I think I need a new alternator belt. The oil pressure is getting to a more acceptable level. Okay, so everything works. I'm a little smoked out at the moment, but it's up to operating temperature now. At first I tried starting it in gear when it was cold, and it didn't really want to start because I think just the extra load of turning the wheels and spinning the differential wasn't making it too happy. So now I'm gonna try starting it again. Just for a minute. I'm not going to get on it or anything, obviously. I just want to check and make sure nothing's binding as it turns the drive shaft and differential and the rear wheels for the first time ever. Go to first. Key on. You can hear me, but this is the happiest I've been in a long time. Alright guys, I think I'm gonna wrap this one up for now. I feel like the happiest guy in the world after tonight. It's the closest to being done that it ever has been, without a doubt. I've got a lot of editing to do to put this video together for you guys. Hopefully you see it within the next day or two. And until next time, spring's coming. Get out there, get your wrenches out, work on your shit. Remember guys, like, subscribe, comment, share it if you want. Until next time.